do it.
Okay.
We'll do it live.
Okay. No.
We'll do it live. F it. Do it live. I'll write it and we'll do it live. Thing sucks.
Here we go. It is another edition of the Daily Puck Drop, Monday, February 24th. It's 10 a.m. We appreciate you if you're watching live on the YouTube stream, on Twitter. Also, if you're listening on the Puck Sports mobile app, download it today for your iOS store, also from the Android store there as well. If you're watching and listening later, how are you? How's your afternoon going? You can always subscribe to the channel, YouTube. Please subscribe there. Also, leave comments. We try to get to as many as we possibly can. If you're listening to the podcast later on Apple and Spotify and wherever you find your wonderful podcasts, please rate the show 5 stars. Just like when you go to a Thai restaurant, I'll take the 5 stars. And also, please write a review. Coming up on the show today, Jim Moore is back. We'll talk to the go-to guy here momentarily. We'll talk NHL versus NBA state championship. We'll talk Combine Week, the Underwear Olympics. Brad Adam is back with us this year from Root Sports. And, of course, we wrap up every single Daily Puck Drop with Hey, What the Puck. I'm broadcasting from the Limbach Lumber Studios, which, of course, is a wonderful local company here in Ballard. Contractors, they got free deliveries from everything from whole house packages to homeowner DIY projects, largest stock moldings in the Northwest. Old school service. They've been doing it since 1930. Give Limbach Lumber a call, 206-782-3487. Visit them online at limbachlumber.com. Check out the show, the program. Follow me on social media, Puck Sports on Twitter and Instagram and Blue Sky. And we put all of our video content clips up on TikTok at Puck_sports there as well. Also, you can find everything up at pucksports.com. When you're there, encourage you to sign up to become a Puck's Posse member. Just $5 a month is all it's going to cost you to support the entire Puck Sports endeavor, all the free content that we give out, plus our VIP content, exclusive content like our series that started last week covering the NFL draft with Dane Brugler from The Athletic. Episode 1 is out for Puck's Posse members. Also, the baseball season, Ryan Divish of the Seattle Times covering the M's. We always still give you a free 20-minute version on YouTube and then the audio there on the Daily Puck Drop for the podcast. But if you want the full 50 minutes of Ryan Divish every single week, we encourage you to sign up. The only place to watch and listen to it is if you are a Puck's Posse member. Without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, it is the go-to guy hailing from Bend, Oregon. Hello, sir. And you are brought to you by, we got an announcement today too, right?
Yeah, we have an announcement. We have 2 sponsors of my Monday, Wednesday, and Friday appearances here at pucksports.com. Yeah, first of all, I want to thank Brian Turner for hanging in there with me with my technological difficulties. He's got professional window washing and exterior cleaning service called Clean Streak, proudly serving Island and Skagit counties for more than 10 years, featuring window washing, pressure washing, roof and gutter cleaning. They do it all. They consistently get the 5-star reviews, just like pucksports.com. How about this from Pamela Cassidy? She said they're always professional and responsive at a Clean Streak, leaving us with squeaky clean windows and smiling faces. For a free estimate, call 360-395-5748. That's 360-395-5748, or visit cleanstreak.com. And my thanks to Justin and Shane down at the home course. It's time for the Golf Fest down there. And you know about this. If you're a golfer, you're aware of this already, but maybe there's some golfers that aren't aware of it. The annual stay and play package starting at $109 kicks off on Saturday. Here's the deal. You pay for a room and you stay between March 1st and May 31st, and you get not 1, but 2 free rounds with a cart at the home course. You choose them on 5 conveniently located hotels in DuPont. And we know this, Puck, you know it, I know it. The home course is already recognized one of the nicest courses in the state, also known as the best bang for your buck course around. The stay and play package makes it an even better deal. So check it out. A limited number of packages available. Book today at thehomecourse.com/stay. That's thehomecourse.com/stay.
God, you're such a big deal now. Now you have 2 sponsors?
2
Good
sponsors.
Lord.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Justin, the GM. I mean, those guys have been so good to me over the years down there. And if you haven't played the home course,
It's wonderful.
get down there. Yeah, it really.
It's
I
a
mean,
great
we're not
golf
just,
course.
singing their praises just for the hell of it because they're paying us. No, it's a fantastic place.
It really is one of the all-time great golf courses. I would play that thing nonstop. If Justin, if there's a high-speed light rail bullet train that can take me from Ballard to DuPont, sign me up. But no,
Well,
it is a wonderful golf course. It really is. It's one of the best golf courses in this state. So that's awesome. It's awesome that Justin, the home course, are on here and sponsoring you along with Brian at the Clean Streak. That's it's just amazing what a big deal you've turned into.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it is. I'm sure that's what it's all about.
It
But
is.
the hotels down there are great too. They've got.
Yeah.
I mean, they've got the Hilton, they've got the Fairfield by Marriott, the Best Western, the Fairbridge Inn and Suites, or the Hampton Inn. So, I mean,
how many hotels do you got down there? You got everything. And they used to always do, I think, it wasn't it one of the pre-qualifiers for the U.S. Open, I think, if I remember back in the day?
No, I think you're right. Yeah.
It's a fun course. I love link-style courses because I like just spraying the ball all around the place and not really getting into too much trouble.
No, it's challenging, but it's fun. And you walk off the course going, God, I can't wait to play here again.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. I mean, this is great. I'm glad we've got not only a Clean Streak, but also the home course here as well. How are you? Everything good? Technical problems? You figured it out a little bit? For the most part?
I think you know the answer to that. Yeah, I'm working on it. I'm going to go get some, what do you call them, AirPods, earbuds, whatever the hell.
Oh, because you lost the other ones. Those things are easily lost, trust me.
I did lose those.
Everybody loses
I can't
them.
quite figure out why, Kathy has a new laptop, and for some reason the microphone and the headphones aren't working.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm here.
You're
I don't know
here
what the
and you're
sound
ready
is
to
like.
go.
Yeah.
All right. What do we got? Look at this one right there. Ballard High School, baby. Ballard High School. Congratulations to the ladies of the gymnastics team. I'm sure people are probably tired of me talking about it, but I don't care. They are your 2025 3A state champions. How about that?
Okay, listen.
Let's go, Ballard.
Yeah.
First ever state title for Ballard High School. Let's go.
Let me correct you on one thing right off the
What?
bat here.
What?
People are not tired of hearing about your daughter's gymnastics team when that gymnastics team did something that has never been done by a public school in the Metro District. I mean, come on. That's
Very
pretty
awesome.
cool. We're all proud of our kids. We're all proud of all of their accomplishments in sports and academics and everything.
Yeah.
And if you want to shout from the rooftop about what Mari and her Ballard team did, you just feel free, man. Plus, I think it's pucksports.com, right? You can talk about yourself. I mean, what the hell? And when your kid does something like that, and she won the individual floor exercise championship in the state, and her team won too, you just go ahead, go boast all as much as you want. You just go for it.
There they are. They're the ladies. There's your 2025 3A state champion, Ballard Beavers. Again, first state championship ever for Ballard High School. Well, let me rephrase that. First WIAA, because the cheerleading team has championships, but it's not I guess considered a WIA sport. So, but they do, and I think you go back to like 1950. I think they won something in 1951. I think they won a football championship, but it wasn't the WIA. So, yeah, I mean, listen, I think everyone that's ever had kids participate in sports, you have had three kids participate in high school sports. I think when you watch your kids compete, number one, in anything, and that's fun. It's fun to watch them compete. It's fun to watch them win. It's heartbreaking to watch them lose. But when you see a collection of kids come together, and a lot of them didn't know each other initially, and then to go out and to win a state championship. And again, listen, I understand the sport. It's not the most high-profile sport in the world, and get that. It doesn't really mean much to me. But, this is a group of kids, and especially the seniors. There's 6 of them that, for 4 straight years, they've won the Metros. They will retire as high school gymnasts as having never lost in Metros, claiming a first district title, which they did, and then claiming the school's first ever state championship. I mean, I told them afterwards, I said, you guys, it's not going to hit you yet, but it's going to hit you in like 10, 15, 20 years from now. You're the first ones to ever do it. You're going to have a banner up there. And you'll be recognized by the school, and hell, throw them all in the school hall of fame. I mean, when you're the first one, that's a big deal. And so, just real proud of them, and just proud of the collective group, because especially the seniors is just a great group of kids. I mean, they are just smart. They're dedicated. I mean, we got kids going to, thinking about, Georgia Tech and Duke and, some just, major schools. And they're just, their GPA is through the roof, but they are just you want to talk about a supportive group of girls. They are at the top, and their sportsmanship was out of control. It's not only just like how they supported one another, and if you've never watched like a gymnastics meet or have never participated in it, it is the most individual team sport in the world, because you are competing against that. It's just really an individual sport for the most part. But your scores all count for a larger team score. But the way they support the other athletes that they compete against. Not all the girls do that from other teams, but they did. Like, they're rooting on girls from Roosevelt. They're rooting on girls from North Thurston or Sammamish. And Bainbridge and schools like that. So I don't know, it was cool. It was a cool 2-day event. It was just awesome. And they, in the individuals, every girl that participated in the individuals all medaled. All were on the podium. One of the girls ended up finishing 4th all around. Yeah, my daughter ended up winning the state championship for floor. So it was a fun 2 days. Really, really was.
Okay, well, I really appreciate those humble and nice words that you spoke for about 3 minutes there.
I know.
But I want to hear the dad perspective now. I want to hear what it was like watching your daughter do the floor X, and how that went, and how your heart must have been beating, how nervous you were, your palms were sweating. So not only watching that, but then after she got done and the judges gave her the score, and then waiting out to see how the other girls did, and then finding out that your daughter was number 1 in the state.
Well, it was weird, because I don't really get too nervous at all. Only when they do the beam. The beam is, if anyone's ever watched it, I mean, they're doing it. They're flipping and doing a bunch of stuff on, something that's, I don't know, 3 inches, wide. I don't know, 4 inches wide. I don't know. I don't even think it's 4 inches. I mean, that's nerve-wracking.
Well, you look at 3 or 4 inches all the time, so you should know the length of that. Shouldn't you?
I don't appreciate that.
I mean, I don't know that for a fact, because I've never.
I don't appreciate that.
Naked,
I think
I
think
just
that's
assume,
a low.
Kind of a stocky, pudgy guy like you probably, probably doesn't hang to the floor.
Yeah, so you're about right. Yeah, exactly right. I don't now. How do I transition back to watching your daughter do gymnastics? Let's see.
It's like when I go into a bathroom, and they have urinals, and one
I think we should probably just stop and move on. Do you think? Or
no, this is where you usually go. I'm going to go off.
I know, but we're talking about like.
Okay, so they typically, like a lot of bathrooms, have a urinal that's like kind of medium-sized height, and then the one that's lower to the floor. I usually go at the one that's lower to the floor, because I'm worried that my member might hit the urinal if I use the one that's medium sized. So but when it's lower to the floor, I think I'm okay.
Do you want to steer us back to how you want me to talk about my daughter now, or do you want to continue to talk about your junk?
Yeah, well, yeah, go ahead.
Okay,
I'll get back to being serious here.
Yeah, I'm not sure on the live show I can take this out. But it probably in the replay, I probably will take this out.
Well, that's fine.
Probably a little inappropriate. I'm just going to mark down the time here. 16.
You're saying something's inappropriate, all the shit that you say over the years?
You know, I think we're talking about high school gymnastics. You asked me how about my, how my
I mean,
daughter
you're
did.
dropping your pants and having a cigarette all the time.
I mean, I'll let the listeners decide. I mean, hey, I want you to talk. I want you to talk about how you felt as a dad watching your daughter compete. By the way, you know what you 3 inches like? That's your dick size. Just, I don't know. It's kind of an odd choice of a transition there for you.
Well,
but
it just seemed like
nothing does kind of surprise me with you.
It kind of seemed like a hanging curveball, and I didn't want to let it go by.
I mean, sometimes you don't have to say what is actually going through your head. You can just say, maybe that's not appropriate.
Well, okay, but I'm not on the radio anymore. It's a podcast. You can say whatever you want, right? Okay. Anyway, all right. Well, let me go back to the serious stuff at hand here, because I want to know the dad part of it. I want to know if when you found out your daughter was #1 in the state, when Ballard was #1 in the state, did you have tears? What was the immediate reaction? Because I would have been crying. Shit, I was excited the other night when Mikey and Stevie called me and they said, "Hey, Dad, we've made the quarterfinals in the intramural basketball tournament."
Yeah, there you go.
And I'm kind of like going, "Hey, I don't care if it's intramurals, man. You're in the quarters."
That's right. Let's go.
But you won the state title in something that was actually organized and has been being held for years. And then I just was thinking about you and Kaisa, reminiscing and thinking back over the years and all the gymnastics practices you went to, the early mornings, and the money you spent. I mean, it's like
none of that. I'd like to tell you all that entered my mind. None of that entered my mind. I just, when I was watching them on Thursday, I knew going in that, hey, listen, if they perform well, like they have all season long, which they have not lost all season long, no one's going to beat them. If they perform well, if they do what they do, they're going to win. Because
were they like considered the favorites going in?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, they were solidly beating everyone by a pretty good score. So I just knew if they got to a certain threshold of points, there was just no one was going to beat them. I thought they'd be around one, but this doesn't mean anything to a lot of people. They'd be around 177 is where I thought they'd probably be at. Now, they didn't get there, and it started off rough for them on Thursday because if you're follow this stuff, the last event that you want to start on, especially at a state championship, if you had to pick one, you don't want to start on this event. It's beam. You just don't want to do it. Because it's the hardest one, it's the most nerve-wracking one. You're starting off, a state title run, and you're like, oh my God, we got to start off on one that is scary to everyone. It's scary to all the parents. It's scary to the coaches. It's scary to the kids, and all that. And they started off on beam, and they didn't do all that well. They didn't do terrible, but they didn't do as well as they normally do. They felt like 3 of their top girls ended up falling off, and you're like, oh, okay, well. But because they're a pretty resilient group, and they went to floor right after that, and they just fucking knocked the floor out of the park. I mean, and then once they did that, I'm like, all right, well, they'll do fine. And when you're watching the other girls, so we kind of knew what the points were as it was leading up. So when they got to the podium, and then the anticipation of it, I guess you don't totally know. And then when they rattled off what the third place score was, and then when they said the second place score. You knew at that point, and they knew they were down on the mat, and they knew what it was, and that was awesome to watch them celebrate. And the coaches, the coach has been there for 20+ years, and so she's finally won one. They were finished third last year, and their assistant coaches are great. One was a gymnast at Ballard, so she's. She wins part of it because she was also a gymnast there. And then you get to the next day, excuse me. And they qualify, certain amount of girls qualify for the individual championships the next day, right? They do an individual for bars and beam and floor and vault, right? So they do an individual one. And so it's top 16 girls, and it's a lot of repeat girls, right? Because they can qualify for more than one. And then they did that, and they ended up getting, I'm trying to think what they all won. This girl, Brooke Atkins, ended up being second place in bars. Caitlin Atkins and Claire Spinoza ended up getting 4th on bars. Dylan Kelly, who's a senior, got 6 on vault. Caitlin Atkins got 7th on beam. and she also got fourth in the all around, and then Mari ended up winning, the floor championship, which is only the second individual championship that someone at Ballard has ever won for gymnastics. So I just think
plus she's a sophomore.
Yeah, she's a sophomore. Yeah. Yeah, so it's good. I mean, there was very few sophomores there, so yeah. I mean, just a proud dad moment. Yeah, I mean, my wife was she was crying. I was just more, I don't know, just not crying and not like emotional, just overjoyed more than anything. I love watching kids and anyone. I love watching whether it's my kids or anyone else's kids. I just like watching them compete at a high level and to see them just all like ramp it up and dial it in, and they knew that that they had a chance to do it all, and then had come back the next day and to do the same thing. Yeah, they were dialed in, and it was just fun to watch them prepare all season long. And I'm just happy for my daughter. I mean, she made a real difficult choice this year, and to leave club gymnastics, which was hard decision for her to do, and she didn't join this team until, I mean, I don't know. I think it was late December, maybe January, I think, when she joined. So they had spent a whole offseason training together, and then she just, comes in and was like, hey, I'd like to join. And, they didn't know anything about her, and they hadn't been around her. But like I said, I go back to these seniors, the whole team, but these seniors are just, they embraced her, and all the girls did, and they just became this great big team, and just real cool. Just a real cool, special weekend.
Well, I think what's interesting too, just from a dad's perspective, is that you want your kids to be able to, like, you talked about them being the favorites going in, and you want to make sure, and whether they're underdogs or favorites going in, you always hope that when the spotlight's on the brightest, that your kids are going to be able to deal with that and come through.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, that's just, that part of it is always something too. I always would feel as a parent, anytime one of my kids was at the free throw line or in the batter's box,
sure,
and that kind of thing, you just want to see him come through. And so
you want to
see Mari come through like that.
Yeah.
I mean, and how'd you celebrate that night? Did you crack a bottle of champagne, or you just?
The Thursday night, I think, yeah, we celebrated a little bit. It was kind of low key because they were going back. They were staying at a hotel in Bellevue, all the entire team. So we kind of took them back. And then by the time Thursday we got back, it was just like, it was late. We're just kind of tired and like exhausted. I mean, we were there all day long. Celebrated a little bit, celebrated on, Friday night. Yeah. After all the individuals and, with them, and it was cool. She ended up going back there to watch. She had, a teammate that used to be at her former club. This is really cool. Like her former club, which is called Gym East. It's over in Bellevue. She had a former teammate that was a gymnast at Woodinville, and her name's Lola. She ended up, they ended up winning the state championship at Woodinville at 4A. She ended up winning the floor for 4A. So it was just kind of like those two, two real good friends ended up at the 3A and 4A level, both winning, state championships at, I think she's a sophomore too. So yeah, it was cool. Went to Mike's Chili Parlor on Friday. Had a couple of beers with the boys. Celebrate a little bit.
That's good.
Yeah, it was good.
Buck.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean,
I just think it's just awesome to hear that. I mean,
yeah,
it had to be just so exciting, and yeah, I mean, you talk away about it, man. I mean, everybody's proud of their kids, and something like that happens, you could just go on and on and on.
Yeah, and it's. Thank you for the flowers. Jim was very kind. He sent flowers to her, so that was thank you to you and Kathy. It was very nice of you to do that. She appreciates it very much. She's gonna send you a nice note here soon. And yeah, I think that I think when you watch anyone, whether I don't care what sport it is, what activity it is, doesn't even have to necessarily be a sport. When you watch, kids put in the time and effort that it takes to accomplish something like that, it's just it's pretty inspiring. I mean, they're much more harder workers than I ever was at anything. I mean,
yeah.
So
well, and then it's one thing to win a league title, which is still exceptional in itself, but to win the whole state, that's really something. And by the way, I have to thank one of your Puck Sports listeners, Jerry.
Shout out to
He
Jerry.
emailed me on I think Saturday and just said, "Hey man, you should send Mari some flowers." So it was,
Oh,
and so then he told me about Ballard Blossom, and so yeah, I just thought, God, Jerry, that's a great idea, and so yeah, I followed up on that. But anyway, yeah, I don't know. I mean, isn't that what they do? They do that in gymnastics.
yeah,
They give flowers to
sure
kids.
do.
So
Yeah,
and
flowers, the
like
whole thing.
ice skating and that kind of
Yeah,
thing. So
yeah, flowers work anytime, Jim.
yeah.
I think they work at any time, and it was cool. They got there's a little blurb in the paper on them, so that was kind of cool to see their names in the paper, which was great. Terry Wood, do you know Terry Wood by any chance?
I don't know Terry.
He does
No.
freelance work for the Times. They wrote a little piece. Your guy, our friend Chris Egan, is going to be featuring them. They're doing an interview with them today at the school. So that'll be
Really?
fun. Yeah, they'll be featuring
that's great.
their prep zone. But yeah, it's an accomplishment. Like I said, it's the first state title for them, first state title from a Seattle public school in that sport, and yeah, they should be recognized just like any sport. And it was a good weekend too because there was a kid. God, I'll get his name, Miles, and give me a second on his last name. Who ended up winning the 3A boys, or not? He didn't win. He finished third for wrestling. Another kid at wrestling at Ballard. So that was really cool.
Yeah.
Good
Okay.
weekend
Last
for the
thing I
Bees.
have then. What did Owen give his sister a hug?
Yeah, Owen was a little, not really. I mean, since you made me come here on Thursday, she never has to come to any of my baseball games. Can she come to some of those games? I mean, I'm here all day long. I don't know, Owen. Maybe just go and support her for a little bit, and it'd be kind of cool, right? Oh, I mean, I guess. I mean, do you want to come back on Friday and watch her try to compete for a state championship? Not really. I'll just stay at home. What a great little brother.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well,
my little brother's like, he did, he's just like, all right, enough of the praise for her. Good Lord. He's kind of rolling his eyes. But here's the thing that's funny. That's what he says to her. But then as I like scroll through his phone to make sure he's not doing anything stupid on it, he's bragging to all his buddies and all of his friends.
Is he? Oh, cool.
Yeah. So he's just putting on a brave face. Was that the support from Sky or River there?
I don't know. Come on. He wants in because I have the door shut.
Yeah, that's okay. Y'all get him on in. Let's go.
Yeah,
Let's go.
Go ahead.
Hey, do you get I know you don't, okay? I know you don't get excited for this. Are you going to be sitting at your TV on Thursday? What are you doing, by the way, in your chair?
Well, I got kind of tight quarters here. I'm trying to let him go by me. Okay.
Do you get excited for the combine?
Oh, I thought you were talking about
What?
Our senior night for the San Diego game, Cougar basketball team.
Oh,
that's Thursday night.
I won't be excited for the seniors that I don't know who they are. No, no, I don't care.
Can you believe how bad our basketball team has become?
I can't believe that I once thought we should give them a contract extension in the beginning of the year.
I know. Puck, we gave up 61 points in the first half.
I don't think
we're in 20 minutes.
I don't think we're going to lose them.
God. I mean, they scored 109 points, and that was a 500 team like us. Anyway,
it's terrible. Yeah, it's just awful. It's what bugs me about it is that I remember the first two games of the season, they were really bad on defense, and then they got injuries, but it's not all injuries. But I mean, the Coward injury for them is a huge one, and then there was a bunch of other ones that they dealt with throughout the year. But every team's got injuries. They didn't have a lot of depth anyways. But then I thought that they got better defensively, but then I think once this losing streak hit, it looks like they kind of checked out. So,
well, yeah, and it's similar to the football team when you stopped having anything to play for, you just stopped playing.
I don't think they consciously make that decision, but I think subconsciously, I think that happens to you.
Yeah, and there's probably some kids getting offers elsewhere. And
for sure.
Distracted. And,
for sure.
I mean, I don't know who wants our players at this point, but apparently somebody must.
Do you think it's now karma because you've been after the UW basketball team now for weeks, and now our team is?
Oh, nah. Well, yeah, maybe that plays into it a little bit, but I don't care if we're shitty or if we're really good. I'm still going to rip on the Dogs any chance I get. I just think it's so comical that they're, fighting for this playoff berth, and to get there, you got to finish in 15th place. Come on. Come on. And then, people are like, well, you're 7th in a shitty conference, And I'm like, yeah, but so what? We're the Cougs, man. You guys are always like, oh, we're the big tough Huskies, Yeah, how's that Big Ten treating you with all the travel and the half shares and the shitty place in the standings, Oh, well, Danny Sprinkle, he's got a great recruiting class coming in next year. Oh, you mean like that kid you paid $2 million to that's not really that good this year? I mean, come on. I've got to come back for everything. I mean, I'll pull out 0-12 if I need to.
Hey, going back to gymnastics for a second, John wants to know how long before you start betting on it.
Oh, well, if there's a betting line, God, I had the fat guy in Mexico, and he couldn't come through in the end.
So if you could bet on gymnastics, you would.
Oh, I'd bet on it. Yeah.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah. Was that going too low or?
No, you do whatever you want.
Yeah, I probably would.
Yeah.
No, I watched the Mexico Open, and I had the young fat kid, the 20-year-old.
The young fat kid who hits it a million miles.
Yeah. And then, okay, Puck, that's a great case in point. And I know you're talking about the combine, but I'm trying to distract you a little bit here because I know you love golf.
Yeah.
That's a great case in point why you should not bet on golf. And this is why. This is a great example of that. This course, for people who don't know, was a really long course there in Mexico. And so it favored the longer hitters, which the fat kid is a longer hitter.
Massive.
The guy who won the tournament in a playoff over the fat kid is the shortest hitter on tour.
Yeah, it's stupid. That's why I hate golf. I'm not betting on golf anymore. And it doesn't matter anyways because I missed my pick last week, so I don't really care.
Plus, the guy hit it into the woods, and he got a nice kick, and he won.
I didn't see a single second of that. Hey, I'll give you one more last shot here for the video users. There's the picture. There is the 2025 floor champion.
Okay, there you go. Did you tweet that out?
Yes, I did.
Okay, because you weren't going to do that.
I just retweeted this. Yes.
Okay, good. Did you say I'm her dad?
Yeah, you were just on me. When are you going to tweet out a picture? When are you going to do it? Well, I haven't done it yet. Team over individual, Jim.
God, when one of my kids hit a single, I put it on Twitter. I mean, what the hell?
Oh my God! Well, there it is. There she is, right there.
Yeah.
It was awesome. That was going back to the vampire for a second. Oh, and he was like, he was yelling at Mom last night. He's like, how come like on Instagram, you got all these photos of her and her routines, but I don't see any baseball stuff on there.
Well, put some on there this spring. So
there's a conflict. There's a real conflict going on right now in the household. I'm all here for it. I like when the kids pick sides.
Hey, tell him if Ballard Little League wins the state tournament that he'll be, plastered all over social media.
Yeah, you're damn right. We got to pick it up, Ballard Little League. God's sakes. I don't think Ballard Little League has won an all-star game in like 15 years, for crying out loud.
Yeah, they will this year, though.
They better. They better. All right, they better win a game. How far did you guys ever get in Little League? Do you remember with your boys?
No, we Redmond Little League at the time. We could never get past Kirkland Little League.
Kirkland
I'll tell you why. It was because they had a left-handed kid named, at the time his name was Mike Pilgrim, but it was Mike Lentz later on. And his kids played at UW. And Mike Lentz, if you go back in the mid-'70s, he was number 2 overall by the Padres. And we always had to face that kid every year in the regionals.
Not you, your kids.
What?
I don't care about you.
Oh, I care more about me than my kids.
No, your kids.
Well, my kids. You're talking about in Little League?
No, in professional. Yes, Little League. Jesus, your kids.
Hey, give me a break, because sometimes you'll say, "Are you talking to me?" And I'm like, "Well, who the fuck else am I talking to?"
Your kids. How far did your kids get in Little League?
Not very far, because we were in District 9, and we had to play West Seattle every year.
Oh, yeah. West Seattle's a juggernaut every year.
West Seattle was really good. They
still are.
Their coach was nuts. I forget his name. Corey, gold chain. After he beat us, he was climbing the backstop and everything. His kid was really good, though. His kid hit a home run, and it nearly hit my ridge line out in left
Climbing
field.
the backstop. All right, so I love how this is what I'm talking about, where I'm more team-oriented over individual. I asked you about how your kids did in Little League, and you went right to you. Yeah.
Is that okay? I had a pretty good story, though, didn't I? There's a lot of people who remember Mike Lentz.
How was your little?
Over
So how was
high school?
Your Little League? So your Little League experience was you were Redmond, but you couldn't get by Kirkland.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. But you asked about my kids. Yeah, and they didn't go very far either. Yeah, but that was a dream. That was a dream I had. Like I had two dreams. One, I wanted to work at the PI someday, and two, I wanted to play in Williamsport. Actually, I wanted to go to San Bernardino. I thought that'd be cool if we made it as far as the West Regional. But neither one happened.
Okay.
Didn't make it to state either.
For Redmond didn't make it to state?
No. You know why? We weren't good enough. We weren't good enough. That's basically it. Yeah.
You know what's so funny? You talk about sports, and I was talking to some parents about this. A sport like this, it's actually gymnastics is a little bit like golf, and I'll bring it to golf. Do you think in the golf world, right? Even for players or for fans, maybe fans are a little bit different, but maybe like coaches in the golf world. Let's say they're sitting on the 18th green, and they're tied, and a guy has got a 10-foot birdie. You and I are playing, right? And I've got a 10-foot birdie to win it. Are you actively rooting against me to miss it? Or you're like, no, I would rather win it myself or lose it. I don't wish any ill will towards my competitor.
Well, what do you think, Puck?
Well, I'm just asking.
I'd probably want you to 4-putt it, let alone miss it.
But you do know that like in that sport, like it's, players act, at least publicly act as if like, I'm not rooting for this guy to miss it. I want them. I don't want him to hit it out of bounds on 18. I want to go win it myself. My point is this with gymnastics. There's a lot of like when you watch this where you are rooting on, the other girls that you're competing against, right? You want to see them do well. You don't want to see anyone fall off an event. You don't want to see anybody stumble or do anything, because you're like, that's poor form. But I do find it interesting when you watch other sports, doesn't matter what it is, basketball, football, baseball. You are rooting for the other kid to strike out. You are rooting to get out, to pop up, to a ball's hit to center field. You're like, I hope Johnny doesn't catch that. I hope it pops out of his glove, right?
Yeah.
And so I was talking to some of the gymnastics parents about that who don't have other kids in other sports. Like this is their only sport. I said, it's weird, isn't it? Like we're up here, this girl is at said high school, and we're all clapping as she's doing her routine on the beam. I can't help but in the back of my mind going, if she slips off, that helps us. And I know, and when you articulate that, and you can see the people like, well, that's poor form. Like, yeah, but in another sport, you don't want Johnny to get a hit. You want Johnny to strike out if he's going up against you. So it's just kind of a weird.
Let me bring something up here that might not be, politically correct or whatever. It's not.
Do I have to take this out? Is this about?
No, I don't think so. It won't be as bad as the 3 or 4 inches in the.
Is this about girls and gymnastics? Anything?
No. I'm just wondering. Do you find though that you see better sportsmanship from girls and females than you do with boys and men? Is that fair to say?
100%.
But is it okay in today's political climate to say that?
Why wouldn't that be okay?
Well, shit, I don't know.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Because you don't know what offends people.
Yeah. But
100%.
But there might be some women who take exception to that, that would be like, well, why? Are you, we're just as competitive as you are. Why would you say that?
I think they are just as competitive. I think the biggest difference is from boys and girls, men and ladies, is they have the ability to, once it's over, to recognize if they got beat, to go over there and shake the hand or praise the person, where I think men, boys have a hard time doing that.
Well, you know what I thought was cool? You know, the fat kid that lost in the playoff yesterday, he applauded a guy, his opponent, when he made a nice approach shot.
You know, he has a name.
I know, but I forget what it is. It's like Poltergeist or something.
He's a pretty good player, though. God, he smacks that
my
ball.
God,
Jesus,
yes.
does he hit it far? Good Lord.
61 on Friday.
God, he just smacks that ball. Hey, I haven't got to this yet. Hey, were you happy on Thursday night as your country, Team Canada, defeated the U.S. in overtime? I was listening to it on our way home from Sammamish High School. I was listening to it on the radio. And by the way, whoever KJR had on the radio doing the play-by-play for the U.S. and it was amazing. These two guys were like, you ever seen the movie Strange Brew?
No.
Rick Moranis. Like, okay. The guys doing play-by-play, I think they were from Sirius XM, were like two drunk Canadians doing play-by-play. It was sensational. They were so terrible, but yet great at the same time.
Okay, well, that's good. No, I didn't watch the first 2.5 periods.
But you celebrated at the end. Did you cry when Canada won?
So
I
I watched the last 10 minutes of the game, and then I thought the overtime was sensational, even before the winning goal by McDavid.
That goaltender from Canada was pretty good.
Oh my God. It was fantastic. It was great theater. It was everything. And was I happy that Canada won? Yeah, I was happy they won because I had $20 on them,
I can't believe that on them.
And then I'll admit this too. I got kind of emotional when they were playing their anthem at the end, and if that makes me unpatriotic and hey, more, leave the country.
Yeah,
but
love it or leave it,
in light
more.
of the political overtones or
love it or leave
or
it.
whatever, and the national anthem being booed in Montreal and our national anthem, all of that, I just thought, and Canada seemed like a hell of a bet to me in that game. It was a pick 'em game.
Did you Did you stand up and start to sing it, the national anthem? Or?
No, but I don't think it's debatable. I mean, there's a lot of things debatable about what's better about you.
Oh, is it better?
Their anthem is better than our anthem.
It's a great anthem. I watched as I was leaving. I was watching on my phone. There didn't seem to be a lot of boos. It seemed like the fans that were in there at Canadian fans that were in Boston seemed to be singing along. But here's what I wanted to ask. Because I saw this yesterday. We didn't do a show on Friday, and I saw this, and I knew this was going to happen. I just knew it. I was so effing predictable what the next day in sports talk was going to be. It was so predictable. And I knew it. I just knew what it was going to be. It was two topics. And I could have written it before, and I mentally wrote it down that night. It was going to be, is this finally what gets people in North America or in America to finally like hockey? Because that was going to be the number one storyline. And then number two is, why can't the NBA just try as hard as NHL players? See what happens? Yeah.
Well, what's wrong with those topics?
Because one, nothing is going to change in America. It is that's sport. God, and I like it. I do like it. We don't talk about it a lot, and frankly, we don't talk about it a lot because it doesn't move the needle. It just doesn't. It doesn't move the needle, and But then, just like soccer people, they'd say it would move the needle if you talked about it. We don't though. But when we worked in radio, did we talk about soccer? No. And I'm telling you,
I think that Mike Benton segment was the lowest rated segment that we had. Wasn't it?
It was so they were like negative. It was negative ratings. It was so bad.
Hey,
Mike,
I
I'm
go to
kidding.
Dick's after every game and get a Dick's Deluxe and a vanilla
I'm going to
shake
tell you
and-
right now what I'm getting sick of on Instagram, Benton, is not the Dick's. It's the Eddie Bauer I'm playing golf in the winter ad that you're doing. I don't need to see it anymore, Benton. Okay? I don't. But it's always going to be the last sport in America. It's always going to be. It's never going to not be. It's never going to take off. But yet we do this all the time. We do this for soccer too. Every time like the soccer team has like Team USA beat somebody in some qualifying tournament we've never heard of, you go, oh, is this the one? Is this the one where it sparks interest? And it never does. It never does. because it's behind the NFL, it's behind college football, it's behind the NBA. It always will be, and that will never change. And the other thing is then why don't hockey players or why don't NBA players try as hard as NBA players? I hear that crap all the time. Why? See, the NBA players would never do something like this. I mean, I literally heard that the next day. The NBA players, after playing a full fucking season in the NBA, which is 82 plus the playoffs, plus the NBA finals, which is damn near 100 games, and all the star players, most of them played in all that, decided, okay, we'll suit it back up in the summer and go play in Paris and go play in the Olympics. And I'm just wondering, did anyone watch that gold medal game, Team USA against France? Because damn near 21 million people did. 21 million. So when I hear that, the NBA is dying and all this, 21 million people watched. 9 million people watched Canada versus U.S. this past Thursday. So
it was 9 million?
9 million. So don't sit there and play. But this is the thing. Why can't we just appreciate both of them? And just say, it is what it is. But we have to do this like PK. I don't know the guy's name. PK Subban is his name.
No, he's good. I mean,
but he went on Friday and he's like, the NBA players would just never do something like this. And I'm like, they just did it. They just did it this summer, where these guys are playing all over the place, but they just did it.
But he was specifically referring to this weekend, I think, or that weekend, All-Star weekend, where you get the half-hearted effort. And I like the thought out there, and maybe this is topic number 3 that was pretty obvious they were going to bring up. I like the U.S. versus the world and some sort of NBA competition at All-Star weekend. That would be good, don't you think?
Yeah, but it's not the same as what they just did. Not even remotely the same. The reason that was so popular, it's because it's U.S. and Canada. It's not U.S. If it was the U.S. versus the world in hockey, no one would have watched that. It was because it was U.S. and Canada. We're neighbors. Now we've got this whole, like, we're going to make it a 51st state and we're all that. So there's got a political element to it, and politics and sports always bleed over to each other. So there was going to be people that tuned in. But again, I just want to give you some numbers. 9 million people watched. All the games on this Four Nations tournament averaged 4.3 million people, okay? The NBA All-Star game, which everyone hates, myself, I don't like it, was 4.7 million that watched that awful All-Star weekend in the NBA. The NBA Finals in 2024 averaged 12.2 million people. The NHL Finals averaged 4.2. So again, and then when I take a little issue with, like, these guys, the NBA, they don't try hard and all that. That night, Thursday, which was U.S. and Canada, LeBron, and you know me, I'm not the biggest LeBron guy, right? Okay, LeBron James played the Blazers Thursday night. He's 40 years old. I watched the highlights. He played 36 minutes. He's running up and down the court. He's the best player on the court. He scored 40 points. And that's 36 minutes and 40 points after playing the night before in Charlotte, where he played, or at home, where he played 38 minutes, scored 26 points, had 11 assists. They get into Portland at 3 a.m. He turns around for a 7 o'clock game and does that again. I mean, I just think we get a little misguided sometimes with this compare game. And I think just stop comparing them.
I'm probably like you, Puck. Michael Jordan's the greatest player I've ever seen. But the people that are in the LeBron James camp, as far as longevity goes, because Jordan was a shell of himself, as I recall, when he went to Washington. But what LeBron's doing at 40, I don't think Jordan was doing that at 40. I don't even know if he was still playing at 40. But he certainly wasn't as good as LeBron is now. Now, maybe the game has changed quite a bit, too, and that Jordan, if he was playing in 2025, he'd be doing some of these things, too, because of the style of play. I don't know. But boy, right now, LeBron, what he's doing at his age, it's amazing.
I guess just to wrap it up, I got Brad Adam from Root Sports. You remember Brad? He's waiting by. We're going to talk a little baseball.
Yeah, make him wait. He's not really. What's he going to bring to the show?
I don't know yet. We haven't decided what he's going to bring to the table. Yeah. But I guess instead of having, and I agree with PK, who's very good. He's very good on television. I think instead of the day after the game, being so upset about the NBA for some reason and ripping it, why not just appreciate your sport and what it accomplished? Because those numbers for them are monstrous. Like the 4.3 million average, that is huge for them. Huge. Like the numbers I give you for the NBA Finals with 12.2 million, which is 3 times what they got in, damn near 3 times what they got in the NHL Finals. Okay? For the NBA Finals, that was like their second lowest ever. So I just appreciate both instead of we do it all the time with these two sports for some reason.
Yeah, no, I think you're right though too, because you go back, I don't think there's going to be some uptick in Seattle over Canada and the U.S. playing where we're going to see, the Kraken TV ratings going through the roof. And when they made the playoffs, I think a lot of us, got on board and we were excited about that 2 years ago. And then there really wasn't a carryover though.
Did you read Mike Varell's
make an appointment viewing to watch a Kraken game here down in Bend? I just don't. For some reason I don't get hockey and there's a lot of people who don't get baseball, and that's fine.
Or
fine.
golf.
I get that. If I'm a hockey or soccer fan, I'm sitting there thinking, Jesus Christ, you don't like our sports and you like baseball? That's boring as hell. And I agree with them, but I'm used to that boring pace of baseball because it's been ingrained in me ever since I was a kid.
Yeah. One last thing for you before we go, and then you tell me what you want to talk. You know how we have this egg crisis going on right now?
Yeah.
The price of eggs are just out of control.
Yeah.
And Brad's going to hear this because he's got some kids still in high school, so he'll appreciate this. So apparently our house on Saturday night got hot dogged.
Got hot dogged instead of egged.
Yeah. So these kids threw hot dogs and bread at our house and cheese instead of eggs. Because I'm assuming the price of eggs are so expensive that they decided to throw hot dogs at the house.
Okay, well, 2 things on that. Why did they focus on your house to do that?
I don't know.
And then B, well, let's see, I said 2 things. I should say number 2. Maple and Alder must have had a field day.
Oh, yeah, right. We didn't let him go out there and pick it up. We ended up picking up. But I'm sitting there, and it's like 11:30, and then I'm just watching TV, and I just hear this ding against our front. We have like a big picture window. Ding. And I'm like, what is that? I thought it was a bird initially flew in there. I'm like, boom. I'm like, oh, it's a bird. It's at night. It's not going to be a bird. And then I look out, and I'm like, and I can see something in the street and throwing it. So I run out there, and they tear off in their cars. And I'm looking around. I'm like, there's like that just, that terrible plastic cheese all over the front yard and bread and hot dogs. I'm like, what the F is going on? Like, who does this?
Like, how many were out there?
Oh, I mean, 20, 30.
Really?
Yeah, a ton. And then I'm like, knowing them, so a couple of things came out of mind. 1, I'm going to catch these sons of bitches. 2, I'm a little happy that this is still a thing. Little happy. Oh, I don't know why there's balloons going off. I was a little happy. I'm like, kids are still being kids. This is great.
Well, do kids still throw snowballs at cars?
I think so. I
think do that all the time, and if somebody stopped, you'd go running through the woods to try and get away from them.
So I turned the lights off in the house. I'm like, if I put myself in their shoes when I was this age, I'm going to come back and do it again. Because that's what I would have done. So I turn all the lights off in the house like I'm freaking Rambo or something. And I'm like looking outside the window. And then they not even 10 minutes later, these idiots come around again right in front of the house, get out, start. And then I come out, just sprint out of the house. You son of a bitches. And they're, and I'm old, so I can't get down there fast enough. And they sprint back in the car and they take it off. So I wanted to get him. I just wanted to get him. You little, I'm gonna get you, you son of a gun.
I don't remember doing that though. It seems like if you got one house, you move on to the next one because you already got the one house you wanted to get.
I think they wanted to finish the job. I don't know. I just took a moment and said, you know what? Maybe the kids will be okay. Maybe everyone's gonna be all right. We're still doing it. Yeah, but it just made me laugh because of the eggs are so expensive now that they can't use eggs. And I'm glad they didn't use eggs because cleaning off eggs is miserable.
Well, yeah. So I still
All right.
think I know the price of eggs have gone through the roof, but I still think it's a pretty good deal for what you're getting for those eggs, don't you?
I don't know. We get them delivered through Smith Brothers, so I don't really know how much they are. All right. We'll see you Wednesday.
Okay, Puck. Go Cougs.
Go Cougs, my friend. There he is. Jim Moore every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, brought to you by a Clean Streak Professional Window Exterior Cleaning Services and now the Home Course in DuPont, Washington. All right. I've made him wait long enough. Ladies and gentlemen, from Root Sports, it's Brad Adam. You can follow him on Twitter or Real Brad Adam. Hi, sorry about that. Brad, how are you?
I'm good. I'm texting Jim Moore like, end this thing, man.
Wrap it up.
Jimmy, wrap it up. And what are you drinking, too? That ain't water, Jimmy.
That's hot water.
I want to show you something. My case.
Where'd you get that?
I don't know. My wife found it online or something. So I get this, and I put it on the phone, and my girls are like, "Hey, what's that?" I'm like, "That's my new, phone case. It's a cassette."
Yeah.
They're like, "It's a cassette." I go, "Don't even try, girls, because I'll march you out in the garage with the Power Blaster, my boombox, CD, cassette, dual player, which I still have. One at work and one at home, and all my cassettes.
You still have it.
Still got them all. If you want 80s rock, I've got it on cassette.
Do you have old tapes like
And rap,
air?
too.
Do you have air check tapes on tape by any chance? Air checks?
No. I do have some mixtapes, which some aren't labeled. So every once in a while, I'll find one. I'm
some
like,
dating ones from like some girl?
Maybe, but it's usually like rock, AC/DC that I kind of got from different tapes or something, albums I didn't want to buy the whole album. I just wanted like 4 songs. So I would just get that and put it on a TDK and just
I love it.
rock it. Yeah.
I love it.
Hey, going to your egg story, that's fantastic. I do remember.
Has that happened to you at all?
Hot dogs. No.
Hot dogs.
But the last time I went to Costco, they finally had eggs, right? And it's like, because a couple of times before they didn't have anything. And with this damn bird flu, right? So they had a sign. It was like COVID all over again, when you could only take 1 or 2 toilet papers. It said, only take 3 cartons of eggs.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh my God, I bet. So first thing, I'm just, usually I go aisle to aisle, up and down, wife and I, up and down, everything. See what
Maybe check out the electronics for a while.
Yeah, see what we got, right? Any samples? I'm waiting for them to set up, right? Straight back to that refrigerator section. 3 eggs, boom. So we got like 2 dozen left. So it'll take us a while to get through the eggs, but had to do it. The deal.
Just
I panicked.
Get them delivered to your house.
Are we never going to get eggs again? So did you ever not get eggs? Or did they always have?
No, we always got them.
Because, we go QFC and they nothing. And it's like, $8.
Smith Brothers, baby.
Smith Brothers. That's smart.
Old school. Get your milk delivered and your and your eggs.
You have a milk
butter.
box? You have a milk box?
I have a milk box. I love it.
That's fantastic.
It's the best. It's very old school.
We are old school. My cassette tapes. You got eggs delivered. That's fantastic. Nice, man. How are you?
So no one's ever done it before, right? So this, apparently, I've learned is that the egg. This is taken over for egging.
Okay, but you're right. Easier to clean up. Yeah, easier to clean up.
That's fine. I'll go clean up some hot dogs and some bread and some plastic cheese.
Yeah, I remember doing that once. We weren't very smart when we were young. Obviously, everybody, right? 10, 11 years old. We decided we didn't like our neighbor. He was like this old, very typical, stereotypical old crotchety man. Like our Nerf footballs would get in his yard and he'd take them.
Angry
and
about it.
Come on, man. Yeah. So we decided to egg his front door, and we do, right? And he takes all the he picks up all the shells and whatever he could salvage and throws it into our yard, knowing it was us. And I'm like, yeah, I'm okay with it. Good for you, but didn't complain, didn't come over and yell at us or anything. Just kind of cleaned up and threw it back in our yard.
Has your house ever been egged?
We've been teepeed in high school, but not egged.
Okay,
no.
So your girls got teepeed.
No, when I was in high school.
Oh, when you were in high school. Did your house, this house, ever get teepeed?
No, nothing here.
You probably
No.
don't allow it where you live because you're in the gated thing. So like no one can even get in there.
Nobody can get through. And there's so many cameras, right? And the security
Cameras
guards out there. So
everywhere. You
you're not
got to
getting
be
past my
careful
security.
probably now. You don't know what lunatics
No
inside that
kidding.
house. If you
Yeah.
came out, like I remember or TPing
Armed.
some people's houses, like when I was in middle school.
Yeah.
And like the dad would come in, I'm going to get you. And I'm like, okay. Now, I mean, you know,
Yeah,
I don't know
right?
what this guy's got in the house.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He's probably got a drone that'll follow you, right?
Yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know.
So, Puck, I'm back from a weekend that I want to talk to you about.
Oh, yeah. I can't wait.
Down
Family
in
weekend?
No, well, kind of, yeah. Down in Tucson, University of Arizona,
Love it.
and something for you to look forward to.
Yeah.
Father's Weekend
Oh.
at the sorority.
Do
At
they
the
still
sorority.
call it Dad's Weekend there?
Dad's
So
Weekend,
not
yeah.
like at Wazoo where it's Family Weekend for everyone.
No, the family weekend is kind of like the school, I think, and
Okay.
then the sorority does they alternate. I don't know why we can't both go, but it's a Mother's Weekend.
Well, yeah,
last
that's
year.
what it's supposed to. Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
and
they
then this
alternate the year.
It's a Father's Weekend.
Oh, yeah,
right?
we used to do it where it was Dad's Weekend. I gotta remember. Dad's Weekend was
Yeah.
in the fall for football, and then Mom's Weekend
Nice.
was in the spring, and then Mom's Weekend was the best because it was loose. That the moms came, just said, "F it, I'm 19 again.
Yeah,
I'm
that's-
19, and I'm gonna be doing shots."
I'm going.
And
Yeah.
I'm dancing all night long.
Yeah.
And I don't know. He looks like he's 22, so I don't know. Might as
Yeah.
well.
Can we do this?
Yeah, why not? I'm
Um,
divorced, newly divorced.
yeah.
And I'm living my best life. All right, how was it? How was
it-
Dad's weekend at the sorority at the University of Arizona?
good.
I can only imagine.
Oh, dude, head on a swivel, right?
Jeez.
Just sunglasses on. You
Oh,
can't see my.
dude.
Oh
Look
my-
at that one over there. Yeah,
What?
that's my daughter.
Yeah.
Oh,
Whoa, yeah.
whoa.
Yeah.
What is she studying?
Got to be careful about that.
Yeah, you do.
And it's like this mundane. I mean, it is the same like 4 questions. You know, the small talk when you meet the other dad.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Yeah.
how you doing? You guys going to the watch party later? That's awesome. Where you guys from? Oh, yeah. Hey, isn't this weather here a lot better?
But this is better than the rain, huh? What's it like up there? Never been. Is it
Seattle?
always raining?
It is. Don't come. Yeah. Where are you from? They're like, wherever. It's like,
How
weather's
far do
better
they-
here?
How long do they get to the? What do you do?
I never bothered to ask because I didn't
Good.
care. I'm
Good.
not going to see these people again. One guy did ask me, and so I was like, I don't know what to tell him. Like,
Do you lie?
it's like, hey, I'm a sportscaster, and then it's like,
Oh,
what's that for who and for what? And it's like, if they don't understand,
and they don't get
follow
it. You're like,
sports, you're like, just don't worry about it. Just move on. I'm an electrician or something. But
you
hey,
don't look like an electrician.
and I know nothing about it. Yes,
You
I
wouldn't
come up
pass
with
as an
something.
electrician.
But it was good. You meet the daughter's friends, and
Yeah.
we had different activities, and we had a softball game, which was fun. We saw them play #1 Texas. That was cool.
Yeah. Oh, were you
watch-
there for the basketball game
No,
and
a
the
watch party.
controversy?
Couldn't get tickets. Oh my gosh. How about the ending of that one?
Oh Lord,
I would not have been chanting anything
I know
against
you.
the Mormons. I would
know.
not. But that was a bad call. But anyway, that was fun to watch. And we had a brunch at the sorority. So that's when we met everybody, and you have to sit next to dads. You got the dad's shirt. Hey,
Oh,
got the same shirt.
a
You
lot,
got
of
Arizona gear.
polos. A lot of polos.
Well, no, it's the t-shirt. They had the dad's.
Oh, the
weekend
dad
t-shirt.
t-shirt, the
that
dad
they buy
weekend
with
t-shirt.
Sitting cap, but woo.
Did anyone
And-
get after it?
Yeah, now that's the thing I want to tell you. So we're waiting to meet her little sister, right, in
Uh-huh.
the sorority,
Uh-huh.
and we're like waiting and waiting, and I got a plate, and I'm like, well, I'm not stopping at one plate, obviously. So everybody's like wondering if they should get more, and I'm like, absolutely. So I'm back in line. I come back, and my daughter says, well, Emma's not going to make it. I'm like, well, what do you mean she's not going to make it? She's throwing up in her bathroom. She can't get off the floor. And this is a freshman, Puck. And I'm like, how is that possible? And she had video. She sent some video of her and some other friends and dads went out the night before.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, what dad? First of all, I guess there is a bar where I think they had fake IDs, or it's pretty well known. Like if you just have something, they'll
You can get
let
it.
you in. Yeah.
Okay.
So what dad will take his freshman daughter out and just get so hammered that she's throwing up, sick, can't move the next day? I don't know if that was the right move. I don't know.
Oh,
You're trying to be the
thought
cool
you were going to
dad?
be like, and I was sitting next to him.
No, we did not go out.
Oh,
We didn't do that. But I'm like, I'm all for being like a cool dad and like, hey, I'm sure girls drink down there. We get it. We were in college. But
yeah,
that
I'm not going to be that dad. I'm going to be honest with you. That's not going to be my thing.
No, because you want to spend time with her. You want to, do certain things.
I just don't want to see it. I just
don't
want
want
to see
that. Yeah.
You can do that on your own time when I'm not here.
Exactly. Now
when I'm here, like we're just going to treat it like you're 8.
We'll go out, sure, but I mean, maybe I'll sneak you a drink. But
we'll have a drink, but I'm not going to sit there and we're not going to like hold your feet up.
Exactly. Do keg stands,
You're doing keg stands if they even do that anymore, or
I don't know if they do or not.
Some guy is just upside down margarita. No, I'm not into that. No,
come on. And so I had to fly back Sunday. I missed line dancing on Sunday. I was going to do that.
Line dancing.
I want you to know I would have done it.
So good. So a good experience.
It's fun.
Where did you didn't stay there, did you? You had a hotel and all that.
Yeah, I had a hotel. Yeah.
Hotel.
Right. Yeah.
So any dads get a little overserved that you knew about?
Not to my knowledge. I mean, maybe
Doug's not feeling well Saturday.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Right. Yeah. He went out with this, the 19-year-olds. No, but you'd be proud of me too. So I don't remember. I told you, I sent you pictures. The place she lives at called the Cottages. It's off campus.
Unbelievable.
It's unbelievable. And so
I've never seen anything like it.
No, I'm like, I would never go to class like I should. Those pictures. So we go to, I talk her into going to golf simulator. She's like, yeah, okay, we can go. I'm like, yes. So we go. And now we have to use her roommates' clubs, which are, pink. And it's just fine. I don't care. Fine. Pink and obviously, women's clubs. So they weren't great, but it was
they're just absolute shovels, I bet.
Yeah. And just so whippy because they're so light. I mean, it wasn't pretty, but it was fun to do. You know what I mean?
You got a golf simulator there?
Yeah, you're picking your course, or if you just want to work on, it's got all the numbers, which I don't really know how to read everything. Spin and this and launch angle, this and that. But I'm like, it shows you
what
where
an
it
education
is.
you're paying for.
Exactly. Right?
God, I love it.
She's like, we gonna go tan next? I'm like, yeah,
there's a tanning salon in this place.
Oh yeah, there's tanning booths, and it was like 75, so they wanted to go out by the pool and tan. I'm like,
oh my god,
okay, I know. Like, this is what you guys do. This is every day.
I'm going to push my daughter to Arizona. That's what I'm doing right now. I'm going to push her to Arizona. Did you, when you were in Tucson, you didn't swing up for a little Cactus League action?
I did not swing up. No, actually, my daughter's she's taking her roommates on Saturday. They're going to drive up, but no spring training for me. I tell you what, too, the most amazing thing, the invention I marveled at, they've got these little, it's like a cooler sized robots, right? So think of a cooler, a decent size cooler on wheels. Okay. And it's got like a little flag, and it's a food delivery service on campus. So like you can order, whatever food you want, and it's like a cooler, so that they put it in there and off goes this robot. So just like
all over campus.
Yes. And it's the most amazing thing. Every time I go, I stop and I just watch them, because obviously they got these sensors, right? So they're going on the sidewalk, and if the light pole or a pole's coming, they just go around. They know like where to go.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So you can be across campus and say, I'm in, this dorm. I want Chipotle, whatever. Yeah. And this thing, they'll send this cooler, and they've got all these little things. I'm like, man, it's fantastic. Like, to me, it was like mind boggling. Like, the world we're being taken over. AI and computers are going to win. But these little robot things, shocking to me.
Terminator, Skynet, it's happening.
Exactly. It is. We can go back in time, but I don't know if it'll help.
Hey, booze fantastic. On that or just food?
I don't know. Maybe. I mean, can you imagine just like this thing showing up at your door?
God, it's showing up at that frat. You're like,
how do you
we
do
need
that?
Some more smokes, man.
Yeah.
Hey, send robot buddy out.
Yeah. And you going down, fraternity row, because all the sororities and fraternities are there, and you're going,
let's go over to Pikes. They've got a party tonight.
Exactly. And the guys are up on their
moms drink for
decks.
free signs.
Guys are on their decks, and they got they got
no dads.
Dads
going. Drop off your daughters.
Yeah. And you're just looking at the guys. You're like, I'm sure that, like, I want to believe I wasn't that bad, but
you were.
I'm sure I was. I was just like those guys, right?
Yeah.
Walking around shirt off,
best behavior. I remember when I was at
I'm like, these guys are the worst. Honey, stay away from all of these guys. They're just such.
Did you go to one of those parties? Usually
No,
they
no,
have
no,
a
no.
party, like there's like a biad or a triad.
No, none of that. No,
Okay.
no, none of that.
Not good for you.
Yeah, but it was like, God, remember these days, man.
Fun.
Whew. Fun, exactly. What college all
times.
about? Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I
Anyway.
wanted you to swing. I wanted you to swing up for a little Cactus League. Who used to be
No.
down in Tucson? Wasn't the weren't
There
the
were a couple of
Diamondbacks used
teams.
be
I want
there?
to say Diamondbacks. I know the White Sox were down there. There was like at least 2 teams.
Yeah.
You know, and then when teams had to come down from Phoenix area, they hated it. Like the
Yeah,
vets
yeah.
would never come because they're like, I'm not driving 2 hours to go play a spring training game.
Right.
So you'd always get all the rookies and young kids, you know.
And they've since
Yeah,
then,
gosh.
since obviously changed all that. You know.
Yeah, what is it? What do they have now? Like 15
Yeah, it's like
or
more than half
17?
now.
Yeah. Yeah, because the Dodgers came and some other
Uh-huh.
teams came. So yeah, it's definitely more than half. But yeah.
How about my spirit animal? I hope he makes the team. My guy Rowdy.
Come
on.
Fantastic,
Come
right?
on.
What can he be? A DH, I guess, or
Well, they don't have enough, so I think
who knows,
they
right?
need
I mean,
another DH.
they kind of got their first base platoon because he could play some first, but
Yeah,
Rowdy. Just get out there, have no plan, just swing as
No.
hard as you can.
Yeah.
Let's just see what happens.
Don't you
Rowdy.
want to see him and
Awesome.
Solano run the bases to see who can go faster? Wouldn't you sign up for that?
Yeah, for sure. I would bet now Solano's there.
I'm gonna put my money on
You know,
Tellez.
I'll go Solano, I guess,
Really?
but I don't know. Tellez might be hungry because you're right. Solano knows he's got a spot. Tellez is like, I got to make this team, man.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna be
I gotta show-
hungrier.
Yeah, I got to show him everything I got. I got to show him I can run a little bit too.
All right, so
Yeah.
hey, let's clarify some things. What is?
Right.
I know the story was out from the Seattle Times, and then the Mariners put it out there as well.
Okay.
What is the situation with the broadcast? Like, what do we know? You're back,
Okay.
right?
I'm back.
Okay.
That is good news.
Yes,
We're
it
thrilled.
is.
My wife is listening. That's good news.
She's like, thank God,
Ooh,
because
thank God.
I'm done working, and I you know what?
And
I don't want to carry the family.
no, she's going out shopping. She's online shopping right now.
Well, who is it?
Yeah.
So
Okay,
what's the setup?
It's the paper got most of it right.
Okay.
I'll just do radio real quick. Riz is back for like I think it's his 40th year, maybe.
You can't drag him out.
Love him. And then Gary Hill, your former Coug, you know him,
Love
great guy.
Gary. Love
Yeah,
Gary.
he will be doing a lot of games. He will
Yeah.
still be the engineer producer. He will do a lot of games with Rick. The games he does not do, Ryan Roland Smith and Angie Mentink will be in there with Rick Riz to do
Okay.
radio.
Okay.
On the TV side, Aaron Goldsmith and his hair. We get to see it 150 times a year, baby.
It's going to go
Excited
gray.
about that. Oh, okay.
I think we're going to see the first gray this year for him.
Now, does he color his hair, do you think, if it does go gray?
100%,
You think it does?
100%.
Okay.
Or he'll get somebody. He probably has his own hairstylist that will
For
just
sure.
pluck out the grays.
Oh, there you go. One by one. Yeah. So he's going to be our TV voice on Root, which is awesome. Angie and Ryan will do a lot of games on TV. Dave Valley is back, my buddy, doing some games.
Yep.
And then deep in the heart of Texas,
Wow.
your buddy, Jay Buhner. The Bone is back. And most of his games will be in Texas where he lives. So he'll be doing the Rangers and Astros series.
And what will you and your role is unchanged or added? What is added to your play? Or how does
let's see. It is unchanged at home.
Okay.
Still hosting the pre and the post game. We're going to do a half-hour pre and post at home.
Okay.
So it'll be myself, and we'll have the analysts kind of rotate. You know, Ange, Roland Smith. I think Val kind of pops in there too. So home's going to look very similar.
If you need somebody, I can come in. You know,
that'd be
I'll
awesome.
clean up.
Yeah. don't bother.
I'll clean up.
You're like
later.
the everyman. You're the fan out there. You're
Okay.
like, you're the man of the people.
I am the man of the people. So you do that, and then what about on the road? Then?
The road, I'm going to be back traveling this year.
Wow.
So, which is good. Good. Yeah.
Bringing the club.
Get away at home, but bringing the clubs. Yeah. Because I haven't been able to play as much the last couple of years, but bringing the clubs. Already dialed up. I've already got tee times for the first 3 months of the season.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. And that's smart.
Thank you. Yeah.
It's very, very smart.
And we're still trying to figure out what the road will look like.
Okay.
But
In terms of the
we're good to
schedule,
go.
like pre and post and things like
Pre-post,
that.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's still not been determined.
correct.
Okay.
So we're still waiting on that and kind of figure things out, but it'll look pretty similar. You know, all the games on Root Sports, which was huge for us and good. So, you know, you go to your, you know, Xfinity, the Root Sports, it's 627, I do believe. That's your channel there. Where else? Fubo, wherever else you get your Root Sports games, the Mariners, we will be there. So looking forward to it. You know, we like to say that, Puck, right? This time of year, we look forward to it. But I think there's a different kind of feel in people that I've talked to, and it's because of Dan Wilson. So I'm excited, and I think again the teams in the West have not really helped themselves. So I feel good about this year.
And the Mariners put it out there, but just to put the finishing touches on the broadcast, because someone is asking about Mike Blowers. Blowers is not coming back.
Blowers is not coming back.
Okay. And that's just he was in and out. I don't know what Mike, if he was battling any health reasons or not, or maybe just tired of doing it. I mean, I don't know. It's a grind to do all those games.
It's a grind. Yes.
To road and home. So yeah, Mike is not on. They had a nice post for him there on social media of him not returning. So
and Sims off to the Yankees, so we'll see him a couple times a year, which will be nice. But yeah, Blow will definitely be missed.
Yeah.
Miss my golf partner, but we'll find others. Don't you worry.
Yeah. Does Angie play golf?
We'll find others. No, but she's great in a scramble because she hits the hell out of the ball, and she gets to play from the forward tees. So she could like drive some par four depending on where the tees are. So I mean, she's great in a scramble. But like a lot of people, Puck, you know, they can hit it far, but what happens 100 in? What happens?
Can't do it.
Can't do it.
Can't chip the driving range. I went to the driving range on Saturday. All I hit.
Where'd you go?
Sunday. What's Stanner Bay? And by the way, that
is
place,
it heater? Do you have a heater?
Yeah,
up above?
Just printing money there.
Right.
Just print.
Unbelievable.
Sunday at 2:00.
Okay.
It's pouring rain. We have this atmospheric river.
Yeah. And people, it's crowded.
Every stall,
come on,
top and bottom, is packed, and with at least on every other stall, someone waiting? Like back.
My gosh,
to get in.
That's impressive.
I mean, but it's like this all the time. That place is just
printing money.
What did I bring? My pitching wedge.
That's it.
That's it.
That's fantastic. You hit a bucket of wedges?
Yeah, just a bucket of pitching wedge.
I tell you what,
that's all I want. 100.
You got to be able to score. Yep.
That's all I want.
Yep. I got Puck for the first time, and I was trying to remember, and it must have been like 7 or 8 years. I got for Christmas new wedges.
Oh, love it.
And because I'm not a guy who can spin it or do a lot of things that the good players can.
Most electricians can't.
Good point. You see, my hands are really rough. You can tell that I'm an electrician. I tell you what, Puck, new clubs, new grooves. Oh my gosh.
Game changer.
Game changer. Even for me, who never can spin it. So I don't hit down enough. I don't know, whatever.
Quit my old clubs.
But I'm telling you, that's what I thought. I'm like, I like my old club. No.
Get some new ones.
Get new ones. Okay. And then I remember talking to pros and guys who play a lot. I mean, they swap out wedges every 2 months because they just want.
They can afford it. I can't afford it.
And it's all free. I understand that. Yeah, I'm like, well, I'm not doing that. But like, what a game changer! I remember. And so, did I see the pic of my little mini hole-in-one?
No.
Okay, I need to do that.
You had a mini hole-in-one?
Well, because it was they're redoing a tee box at my dad's course, so they put us on a mat at 80 yards. And I'm like,
count, not count. Did you buy drinks?
No, because it was December. I think it was the 31st. So bar in the clubhouse closed. So I'm like, sweet. So it counts.
Well, boy, you really got out lucky, didn't you?
I did. So first swing, new gap wedge. First swing with the new gap wedge. Just a little 3/4.
Yeah, little.
About 3 feet by the pin. Boom.
Back.
I'm
like a young Phil.
Right. Did I just do that? I'm
yeah, you did.
Oh,
yeah, you did.
On the new grooves, buddy.
All right, new grooves. You've convinced me to
but
go
smart
back.
Though. Yeah,
smart by you. You'd mentioned here the Dan Wilson thing. You feel good about Dan Wilson.
Yeah.
You feel good about the team. I'll say this: like, there's been an off season, and it's well documented. I think most Mariner fans are very disappointed of how the off season went. I include myself in that. It could have gone much better, and we'll wait and see. It's not gonna dampen. Well, it dampens the excitement a little bit. Well, more than a little bit for me. But again, the season starts, I'm all in because that's just the sickness I have. I do, though, am excited about Dan Wilson from this perspective. I always thought, I mean, this goes back years ago. I mean, I think back on radio, I think as long as, like, maybe as far as back when Ian and I worked together, I think I had a bet. I said, I just guarantee at some point he will be the manager of the team. Right. He's just, it's in his blood. He just comes across as a manager. And so I am excited to see how he performs in really his first full year. I mean, when he took over on an interim basis, it went great.
Yeah, 21-13, right? It was fantastic. And things changed, and you could see it on the field, right? And not just the offense, which became, one of the better offenses in the league the last 34 games, averaging 5 runs a game, and just the way they played, it was just, in talking to the guys, it was just like, Dan is such a calming presence. I mean, Dan, he is just, he understands the game and kind of the emotions, and he's very even keel. And last year, I think some pressure got to some people, like they were pressing, and it was like, we're in this, and it's like, we got to win, or this, and it's just, it was a feeling where, like, panic is too strong of a word, but just like, that pressure, and it just, and Dan came in and was just like, hey, chill out. We got Edgar here. We're not going to do 15 things with the swing. We're not going to look at video. We're not going to have all the stuff in your head. Here's what you're going to do. You're going to fight like heck with 2 strikes, try to use the whole field, look for 1 pitch in this area, and let's go. And just simplify it.
Yeah,
exactly. And, it sounds like, geez, well, how couldn't they have done that before? But it's just a style. And I think a guy like Edgar, who's just done that and obviously had a Hall of Fame career, and it just made it easier for the guys to see it and understand it. And with Dan there, and it just kind of worked, And you're right. I think having an off season, because talking to him, he was like, man, there is so much information. There's so much going on. I'm like, I don't know this. I'm like, oh my God, trying to figure things out just leading up to the game. Right. But now he's got, knows the roster. He knows everything there. He already did that, because he was always a minor league instructor and also analyst with us every Tuesday on Rich Sports. So
does that continue?
It does not, unfortunately. But
here's what I like about it. I'm we don't talk about this as much in baseball as we do in like in football. I guess I like the coaching tree.
Yeah.
He's coming from, even though he didn't work under Lou Piniella, he didn't manage under him, but he played for him. Yep. And he's coming from, he's not going to be Lou Piniella. He's not going to, because that's not his personality. But I do believe the work ethic, the way that he may look at the game, the way he may behind the scenes communicate, I bet you that he's going to steal a lot from Lou Piniella.
Right.
And let's be honest, there's not a better guy that's ever managed this team that you could steal from, and really in the game of baseball. So I think there's going to probably be a lot of behind the stuff, the things that he says, the way he communicates, that probably has a lot of Lou Piniella in him.
Exactly. And you can see it and hear it already from the guys. Cal Raleigh saying it's kind of more of a team kind of atmosphere, right? Okay. Everybody kind of doing their job, pulling together, trying to win and win. Obviously, you're not going to win every game, but as far as putting importance on, from day one, right? I mean, I think Dan has realized that, hey, you guys missed the playoffs by a game the last 2 years, a game. So the games in April count as much as they do in September, right? They always do. You're like, I don't think so. It's okay. Lose that series to the Tigers. So what? It's April. Who cares? It's game 9 and 10. Who cares? But it came back to get them. So I think that there's more of a kind of not urgency, but just more of an importance in the season,
Be curious to see how he handles more spring training. I know he mentioned he's going to play Julio a little bit more, and maybe
try to get him going. You got to do something with him. He cannot have the starts that he has.
No,
has got
play the regulars
to be better.
And
I think sorry to cut you off there, Puck, but I'll do
fine. You're an electrician.
And we're fine. I do think that Julio is primed for a big year. I think that the way he finished working with Edgar took that into the office. I also think that he was disappointed in his year last year. And you look at the numbers and you're like, I mean, they're not terrible. He still hit like 272, right?
But
well above
they're bad
major
for
league
him,
average.
though.
Exactly. Only the 20, not a lot of doubles, only 20 homers, only I think it was 68 RBI or 69. He can't do that. He needs to have around 100 RBI for this offense to get going. And he makes everybody better. We all know that. But I think he understands that. And I think mentally he figured some things out with Edgar the last 6 weeks of the season, with not trying to press, not trying to homer, not trying to be the only guy to drive in runs, not swinging wildly out of the zone. I think it's going to all come together this year for Julio, and he's going to have like a monster season. Will it be enough? I hope so. But, going back to your point in the offseason, were we all disappointed in him bringing in some bats? Sure. But I think the best thing they did was nothing, right, with the pitching staff. I would have been, maybe if you traded Castillo and you got like 2 big bats, I probably would have been okay. But just
needed to be bigger than what was being offered, like the Red Sox. That wasn't it.
That doesn't do anything.
That's
for
not
me.
it.
No. So with the 5 starters coming back, I think that sets them up very nicely for the season, because I think it's going to be just like last year, right? I mean, the offense will struggle. Sure, we know that. They'll be up and down. Rotation should be rock solid. And then the division is just kind of So I think if they go 85 wins again, I think 85 wins the division this year.
To me, it's going to be the bullpen. We talk enough about the bullpen. Just, do they have enough arms in the bullpen? Can they depend on guys that they're going to try and depend on this season? Can those guys come back healthy? I mean, I think 2 biggest question marks are going to be Matt Brash and Gregory Santos. Just, I don't know how they're going to respond. I don't think anybody knows what Brash is going to be. I have no idea. It's a major surgery.
It is. And to be ready in April, maybe end of April, May, it's pretty optimistic if there's no setbacks, right? But he should be, we say that. If he's anything close to what he was in 23, it was just amazing, right? Santos is a big question mark. You're right. He big time stuff, but guy was hurt and just, you don't know. And, Munoz has never made it through a season healthy,
I did like video of his new pitch.
Oh my gosh. How about that? Like what? But he could be, I mean, again, he could take another step, right, and be the best closer in the AL. So, but you're right. Gabe Spire and Saucedo need to be able to get out from the left side. Is there enough to get the ball to Munoz? That was a problem last year. They just didn't have enough those high leverage guys' arms to get it to Munoz. But I think you'd like to think that those guys bounce back and they've got enough guys in camp, because they're pretty good at finding the hidden gems, the guys that have been discarded from other organizations, and kind of find a pitch that works with them. I trust Pete and Trent Blank. Yeah. So, but you're right. The bullpen is going to be huge, because we all agree the starters will be pretty solid, but they don't push the starters. So if you get, 5, 6 out of them, they're coming to the pen. So yeah, that's going to be huge this year.
Thank you. Well, I can't wait. We're back. You're back doing it.
Hey, are we doing every week now? Are we?
Let's do every week. Let's do Mondays until.
I don't want to force you.
No, let's do Mondays
until the
season gets going.
You have a lot of guests. You got Jim Moore. You got to get in there.
Yeah, but
what a great camera angle he's got. Can you work with him a little bit? It's like I'm old and I don't even try. That's his mantra.
One of these days, I'll just record the 30 minutes before, where we're trying to make sure everything works for us.
Do you just get a T-shirt and say, "I'm old and I don't try"?
I'm just old. I try, and I'm old and I don't care.
Oh, that's a good one too.
So let's do Mondays, and I know when the season starts, because you're all over the place, we'll
have to figure something out.
A time that works best for you.
I like that.
Sound good?
Yeah, sounds great.
You're the best.
Fantastic. So I'm coming on after more on Mondays. Is that right?
Yeah, I'll get out of there faster. And we'll even do a little crosstalk. You can come on and talk with them for a little bit.
Oh, that'd be fantastic. I like that.
All right, thanks, Brad.
Awesome. You bet, buddy.
See you, bud.
Yep.
There he is, Brad Adam, Root Sports. Before he'll be joining us every Mondays before the season gets underway. Then when the season gets going, because he's going to be traveling. Well, he's traveling to every game now, and then he comes home and does the studio work. So we'll have to find the right time there for Brad to jump on, and sometimes we'll probably have to tape with Brad just to kind of make it work because of the road trip and the schedule and all that. So, but just glad that he is back with us. I know some have asked about Bill Kruger. I don't know what Bill's plans are there with Root. I'm not sure Bill's plans with us. I hope he comes back and does the weekly with us, but we'll wait and see with that. But my fingers are crossed for him coming back. And then we'll have our normal kind of baseball stuff. And again, remember, Ryan Divish joins us coming up on Wednesdays. And remember there from Divish is that he joins us on Wednesdays. And remember, the 20 minutes are free. And then we do the full 50-minute show there with with Ryan, which is for Puck's Posse members. You can sign up today, $5 a month. All right, let's go to pucksports.com to sign up today, please. The Hey What the Puck, which is brought to you by Restoration One in North Seattle. It's your restoration company that lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, and mold damage with the property restoration services. Locally owned and operated. Make them your first call when these damages affect your residential or commercial property. 206-817-8917. Visit them online at restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. And we wrap up the Daily Puck Drop with this on Hey What the Puck. And we'll come full circle where we started. I think that the thing that I love, and I'm sure you do as well, about sports is watching people compete, watching them work, and then that hard work paying off for whatever the end of the year stated goal was. And, for most people, that stated goal is a championship, and it doesn't always work out that way. And when you watch from afar, a group of kids that some maybe you don't know, and then also when you watch a group that you do know, that you have a son or a daughter that is a part of, there's some extra special meaning. And I think to watch this year's Ballard High School gymnastics team from day one, to see where they started, in the winter, and how long that their season is, and how much time and effort and dedication that they put in to that sport, which is very, very demanding. This is a group of girls that, they don't go train at a different club. They train at the high school. When they train at the high school, they don't have their own facility. They don't have an auxiliary gym and where they do it. They've got to share that gym, during the season with the boys basketball team, with the girls basketball team. So they got to work around their schedules. The amount of equipment that they themselves, this group of 10 or plus girls and their coaches, have got to take out every single day, set up themselves, tear it all down, put it back. I'm telling you, it's the process to set it all up. Every single day they have practice, and every single day to take it down is mind-boggling. But it's just to watch a group of kids set forth a goal, which their goal at the beginning of the season was to win a state championship, to win a state title. And for them to do it, the 2025 state championship 3A level for the Ballard High School gymnastics team, which again is the first state title ever for that high school, recognized by the WIA, I just think is an amazing accomplishment. To be our family be a part of it, a small part of it was just sensational and just awesome and fun to watch. Sad that it's over. Sad that those seniors are moving on. It's just a great group of seniors. I don't recognize them. They're gonna be on the television, I think, this week on well, I don't think they are on King 5. So look for that coming out later this week. Brooke and Caitlin Atkins, these are the seniors. Viviana Corsini, Dylan Kelly, Claire Spinoza, Ella Carter are the seniors who were just, I mentioned this before, Jim, just a absolute tremendous group of seniors. And just not only good gymnasts, but great teammates, and did a great job of a legacy that they all hold, that they won Metro's 4 straight years, won a district championship, won a state title, and did a great job of kind of handing the torch off to a younger group that is coming. Also on that team, you got 2 freshmen, Carly Pecoraro, Aspen Pfeiffer, and then sophomores, Ruby Stan, my daughter Mari, and then a junior, Eloise, who's on the team there as well. So congratulations to them, all the coaches, the families, and all that. So just a proud dad moment, proud fan of this community and that school, to be recognized and to win a state championship. That is Hey What the Puck, which is brought to you by Restoration One of North Seattle. Lets you avoid the stress of water, fire, and mold damage with their property restoration services, locally owned and operated. Make them your first call when those damages affect your residential or commercial property. 206-817-8917, or visit them online at restoration1.com, the North Seattle franchise. All right, full daily puck drop with Jim Moore and Brad Adam will be up on YouTube. If you want to watch these 3 gorgeous people, when you're there, please subscribe to the channel. Please write a comment. I'll try to respond as many as I can. And then also on the podcast platforms, Apple, Spotify, wherever you find your podcast, please rate the show 5 stars minimum. And then, of course, write a review. You can find everything always up at pucksports.com there, by the way. You can find everything that we do over there every single day. So you can go there. We appreciate it very, very much. This is one day into the long week for us. We got the combine. We got a bunch of stuff going on this week. We'll cover it all. Baseball now is getting into full gear. So we thank you. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you to all the sponsors, Limback Lumber, also a Clean Streak, as well as one of our new sponsors for Jim Moore, the home course there in DuPont. Also Georgetown Brewery, which has been with us all year long. Check out their new tavern beer at your local bar, and of course at georgetownbeer.com. And as we wrap up every single daily puck drop with Hey What the Puck, thank you as always to Restoration One. Again, today's show up on YouTube. Subscribe there. All the podcast platforms there as well. When you're at pucksports.com, sign up to be a Pucks Posse member. $5 a month is all it costs. You get a discount for a year. You get all the free content we do, VIP content as well, like our baseball coverage with Ryan Divish throughout the year from the Seattle Mariners covering the M's, and our NFL draft coverage leading up to the draft, our 7-part series with the best in the biz, Dane Brugler from The Athletic. Episode 1 is out, came out last week. Check it out on the Pucks Posse page. Again, go to pucksports.com, sign up to become a member, and it will take you to the Patreon side there as well, where you can watch and listen to that exclusive content. All right, that's it. I'm done. We'll talk to you tomorrow, Tuesday's show. NFL Draft, more stuff with Danny Kelly from The Ringer. Also, John Canzano is back from johncanzano.com. So we will talk to you tomorrow. As always, we promise to be better.
No shoes, no dice.
Would anybody like to smoke some pot?
Yeah.
I was born to love you. I was born to lick your face. I was born to rob you. But you were born to rub me first.
What do you need my address for? We'd like to send out a mailer.
Mother of mercy, I don't speak Japanese!